This is Shenanigans podcast. I'm Michelle.
What's good with you bitches? I'm Latin like the language.
You have a different intro every time.
We've done 4 fucking podcasts.
And you've had a different way of starting every time. Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by
the Garbage AI administration for throwing this garbage portfolio show, which we're here right now, and we should be.
Our school is throwing a portfolio show, which is all of
the graduates.
All this quarter's graduates pretty much standing at a booth waiting for their time to be up.
Pretty much.
They're showing off some of their work.
Yeah, they're supposed to display their work.
2 film students.
Yeah.
Because we used to not have to do it. Ours was just the thesis screening, which is showing our film at a theater, because doing that and portfolio is nonsense, but the school's stupid.
Yeah, these new rules shits in this corporate fucking restructure. But here's what I was going to say about that shit, because everybody else at the portfolio show has these lavish ass setups.
Of course.
With fucking...
Because they have a full class dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Film students just have to sign up. Like, it's just required all of a sudden.
They did give them they gave them a screen, though. And that's about it.
Shocking.
They literally sit
Daniel
there.
complained.
I think it's great, man. He like puts in no effort, but
I hate it. I hate it so much.
He puts in no effort.
Continue your story, because I have.
I walked in there. There's literally a black table. They're sitting behind. They have their resume. They have some business cards, and they have a screen with their reels playing or whatever they want. And both of theirs are garbage.
Of course.
I was watching them shit.
What is Daniel's? We never saw Daniel's. We saw Sarah's.
Well, I only watched a little bit of his because I was watching Sarah's shit.
Of course.
Man.
She wants to be a cinematographer. And her
she
reel.
showed like concert footage. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
She went to a concert, filmed it, and then put that in her reel.
Hey, this is some good film shit right here.
It'd be one thing. I've seen cinematography reels with concert footage, but it's like they went to the concert to film. Like they didn't just attend a concert and was like recording it for their own memories and decided to put it into their cinematography reel. Like the whole first half is just the same angle of this concert.
This flat ass. Oh my god.
And then all the other stuff is super shaky.
Yeah.
It's not lit well at all. It looks like all first quarter footage.
Pretty much.
She's in thesis.
Yeah, judging from her thesis, I think she has all like first quarter material. Because that shit is bad, man.
It's amazing what Andy did to salvage that, though.
Yeah, true.
6 hours of just being like, do this,
going through the footage. I wonder if he.
Do you see how much new footage we saw?
Yeah.
She actually had coverage of everything, and we never saw it till days ago.
That was ridiculous.
It's week 11. Out of 11 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh
literally,
my god.
Like, that should technically fail you.
It should.
You're just supposed to come in there to get feedback. He literally edited that shit.
He had another class who we're talking about as our teacher, Andy, because we keep saying he. But he had another class where he was pretty much stuck here for 8 hours. Only one student showed up, so he was here for 6 hours just sitting there. So Sarah was there. He called her in, and they just spent 6 hours editing.
Jesus Christ.
It's so significantly better, but still so bad at the same time. There's no more jump cuts. The opening is pretty decent, I have to say. There's actually coverage of everything.
It's still shitty, but the story. There's actually a story.
Yeah, that was what he said. Alex, Eric, and I were sitting in the back, and as soon as it was done, Alex like turned to both of us. He was like, "That was actually pretty good." He was like, "It's actually good. We can actually
it's
understand
not like
it.
It's good compared to what it fucking was, but it's still bad."
It's bad now because of the directing.
Pretty much.
But at least now we have a story, and the editing's not awful. There's no jump cuts.
Which is
in
weird
the middle.
she really had Luke edit that shit and there were all those jump cuts in it.
It was supposed to be a comedy. Apparently it's back to a drama.
Oh yeah. I want to know if he said it or she said it. If he was like, you know what, this could be a comedy. And she was like,
no, they saw that one reaction from the mom actor and they were
laughed.
Dying. And they're like, this is
like,
a comedy now.
Yeah.
This is a comedy now. That's it.
That's so shitty. Oh,
Before we get further into thesis, yesterday you missed probably the best moment that's ever happened in that third floor lab.
Okay, wow.
You know that dude that's like always in the lab, like he talks to himself constantly?
Yeah.
He bought pizza for the whole lab.
What?
He literally left at some point and was like, I want pizza. And he told Monty, he was like, do you want pizza? I'm going to go get pizza. I didn't hear any more of that conversation. But Monty didn't leave, obviously. He was still there. An hour later, the dude comes back with a box that could not fit on a table. He had to literally, he literally had to turn the box to get it through the door and set it up. He went to go get a bunch of napkins and then was like, anyone want pizza? He took like 2 slices himself and just was like, anyone.
And everybody else got some?
And it was late at night. There was probably 5 people in the lab at that point.
Wow.
And we're like, holy shit, dude.
What is this random?
We're like, what just happened? This dude won the lottery all of a sudden and decided to go buy pizza for everyone. Like, everyone was just like in shock. Just like, is that for us? And he was like, yeah, sure. Do you want, go get some. Like, anytime someone walked in, he'd be like, do you want pizza? We're like, what happened? Like, we're like, what just happened? This dude's always to himself. He's never said anything to anyone, really.
Yeah, except for himself, pretty much. That's fucking
And I was
weird.
just, the first thought I was like, if Claudia and Latin suddenly show up because they sensed free food.
Claudia wasn't there either?
No.
Damn.
She said she's going to
She missed
come
out too.
today. She's going to be angry finding out that there is free pizza. Like,
I'm low-key mad too.
Everyone in the lab.
I bought fucking Little Caesars yesterday. So that licks ass.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is a random text from my mom.
The last one?
Yeah.
What the? Shit. I just read the first line.
I'll read it.
Yeah. What the fuck? Your mom.
My mom randomly texted me like 2 seconds ago.
The first line, I was like,
be aware of hepatitis A. Wash your hands and do not eat and drink behind anyone or from their hands. It's a contagious liver disease that comes from poop.
What? She was on Facebook, read that in an article, and was like, I need to warn everyone.
My mom be doing research. She hits me up about that shit. She be like, syphilis is going around. You need to wrap it up.
At least she cares.
Yeah.
This is like the most bizarre message to get all of a sudden. Like, thanks, Mom.
My mom's great.
Oh, my God. So, the thesis
Back to thesis.
Yeah. We have our thesis screening this Thursday, the 21st. By the time this is up, it'll probably be tomorrow. And we went today to the theater to try to test our films. First, Daniel, the biggest fuck up in our class ever. He never shows up to class. He's always late. He was the person we were talking about who showed up late to the portfolio thing. He was supposed to be here at 9, showed up at 1.
Yeah, that shit. This guy
probably didn't sign in, just picked the table.
Set up and was like, all right.
And sat down.
It's like, what now?
He messaged Alex, who has the flash drive that's going to hold all of our films for us to play at the theater, at 12 last night, 12 midnight, saying, I'm not going to make it. We all decided to meet up this morning to put all of our films onto the flash drive, go over as a group, and test our films. Everyone but Daniel. Literally, Eric came too. He doesn't have to. He's a cinematographer. He doesn't have a film. Well, he had my film, and I was assuming he was going to just dump it and then take off. Like, he has no reason to have to be there.
Yeah.
So all of us but Daniel went. And we're like, we get there, no one's there. We're trying to contact whoever the fuck we're supposed to contact.
Through email?
Yeah, because we don't have a phone number of anyone's. They finally get a hold of us. An employee shows up, calls her boss. We finally get emails back from the lady, all saying the same thing of, one, we were actually supposed to go Wednesday, not Tuesday, like Andy told us. Mm-hmm. And two, she's been waiting for Andy to message her, contact her to confirm a time for this test.
Oh my
and we're
God.
Like, so
what was it? What?
I'm like, Andy, please. We just
what?
So now we're gonna test them tomorrow, which is the day before the screening. Yeah. So if anything is fucked up, we kind of have to fix it and then hope for the best. Yeah. Like, we can't go back and test it again after that first test.
Oh my God. That fucking sucks.
As we were leaving, Alex was like, well, at least this works out for in Daniel's favor.
Everything works out in his favor.
I'm like, I have a feeling he's the reason for this. Like, somehow he contacted them and was like, don't let them test it.
He's like, I'm not going to make it tomorrow. He probably sent her an email.
He pretended to be Andy.
Yeah, we're changing the screen time to tomorrow.
I'm like, I have a feeling he's somehow behind this.
Because coincidentally, he didn't make it.
And now it works out for him. No, what made it worse was not only did he tell Alex that he wasn't going to make it, but he was like, can you meet me on Wednesday? Because we all thought we would be done with it today. He was like, can you meet me on Wednesday so I can give it to you and you can go test it?
What?
So instead of going to test it himself, he was like, Alex, I'll give it to you so you can go test it on your day off. Alex was like, fuck that. And as
as of right now, his film isn't on the hard drive?
No, it's not.
Oh, shit.
But we need it because we still have to test it. And it still needs to be on that hard drive for when we screen.
But you heard what Andy said. If it doesn't get on there, it's his fault.
I'm like, it has to be on there by the screening.
Yeah. He's going to end up, before the screening.
We're going to be at the theater, and he's going to be like, does anyone have a computer?
He'll have his laptop.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, just give me the
He'll be like, but I need to export it real
fast.
It's going to be 10:30, which is when it starts.
Oh, my God. You're like, we still got the portfolio screenings anyway.
I don't think we do.
That one person.
Is there someone in portfolio?
The one person he mentioned that he fucking had that meeting with.
As far as Andy knows, there's no portfolios that are screening this quarter.
But you know what? Andy ain't no shit, man. Andy don't know shit. Like,
it's very true.
He's like, we're asking him questions. He's like, I don't know. I got to talk to so-and-so. And so-and-so don't fucking know. It's like,
yeah, when I was asking him about the screening day and time, he was like, Lauren hasn't told me anything. And I was like, you should probably ask her about it because last quarter, Lamont had to talk to her constantly. And she didn't schedule it till a week before because he finally was like, you need to do this. Like, you need to do your job, man.
That shit's ridiculous.
And he was like, I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know that. I was like, Andy, please. Andy, please.
Please. He's doing so much. Did you see the posters for the screening?
Yeah.
How come y'all got those small ass fucking little
I don't
thumbnails?
fucking know. I was thinking that too. I was like, why is majority of this board
DCV thesis? Like, they're just words.
And I'm like, what?
That shit sucks.
Like every quarter before us, every single screening has had an entire poster with all the thumbnails of the films. Yeah. We have like a strip of this poster and just words on a white background.
There's so many fucking words. Oh my god.
It's like we need to fill up the space somehow. Who made that? Who's in charge of doing that?
Yeah, right? I saw some lady putting them up earlier on the little display things, and I was like, okay, like, why the fuck are they so small?
This school sucks so much.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. I totally forgot what I was going to say. I was going to mention something about Andy.
You made a gesture like you were going to say like you had some bomb shit.
I was, and then it disappeared immediately. No, I was going to say, Andy's still having us come to class Friday, which is after the screening, meaning we're completely done.
Yeah,
I don't think he realizes you can just mark us present and not show up and still get paid. That's what Ben did this week. Ben's our audio teacher, and he was like, we're done. I already set the grades.
Wow.
We don't need to have class anymore.
Yeah, right? There's no fucking point. Like the
someone
film
needs
is
to tell
done.
Andy this.
Andy's always trying to follow the rules, man, because he's new, I guess. Still, just be like, Andy, bro, this is AI.
If they say something to you, just be like, Ben did it.
He probably doesn't know though.
Oh my god, I'll tell him. I'll be like,
loop.
We didn't have to go to Ben's class. Why are we going to this one?
He's like,
of all the classes.
You basically show up and leave, pretty much.
Yeah, but you have to show up and stay there for 3 hours.
No, you don't.
Like,
remember what he said? If you show up to class, remember we were talking about Daniel and being late and shit? And he was like, the policy or whatever is basically if you show up, you get marked present, which is some bullshit.
It wasn't like that the very first time they implemented those rules.
Hell nah. If you can do what the fuck you want if you're the fucking teacher. They have participation and shit. Like if you come late,
all you have to do is mark us all present. They're not keeping track. There's no like secret guard that's following you around making sure you're doing your job.
Like, they got the camera in there and shit.
Which doesn't record. It's the security guards who don't care. Just sitting there. All you have to do is say that you were there. Like, that's it.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm like, I'm not going to be there.
You'll be at the concert. That's cool.
I'll probably have just left by that point. Because I'm getting a ride, and she's leaving her place at 12. So, by the time she gets here, it'll be 12:30. Depending on traffic, it'll probably be later. So I'll probably have just left when you guys are starting class.
True.
So I'm like, I'll be at a concert. I'll be at a Paris concert. And then I'm going to sleep for 4 days and then go to 2 more concerts.
We get a week off?
Yep.
God damn, man.
Get 1 week.
Shit sucks.
It does so much. Did you hear that this is the last week that the Santa Monica campus is open?
It was open still?
It was open. Like, they're slowly getting people transferred and figuring out shit with them. But there's like 5 students there. And this is the last week that it's open.
Are they in the same program?
I have no clue.
Oh, that'd be fucking great. They're all in different programs and they just see each other like, we're the last ones.
Like, we were talking, Monzi and I were talking to this girl who's from the Santa Monica campus, and she had recently just transferred. And she was like, yeah, there's 5 students over there. So being here is like so strange just to see people. I was like, holy shit.
That's fucking insane. I thought that shit had been closed.
Also,
still moving people. Holy shit.
She told us that because it was closing down, what they offered all the students was either you can stay until you graduate, and they'll find a way to make sure you take these classes and do everything.
Wow.
Or you get $10,000 and you can leave. You won't get your degree, though. You won't get your degree. You won't get any of the other money back, but you get 10 grand.
Wow.
I was like,
these niggas.
I would have taken the 10 grand and left.
Are you serious? You pay so much more than that, though. I think it's, oh man, that's a predicament right there. Yeah. You don't have to pay any of the fucking.
I'm like, I didn't ask her this, but I wanted to know if. Do you get the 10 grand and not have to deal with the tuition that you just spent?
With the loans and shit?
Yeah, because that 10 grand's going to the pay off the loans of the school that you're no longer going to.
And you didn't get a degree from. That's probably why niggas didn't take that shit.
But she was like, apparently anyone who didn't take the 10 grand kind of got screwed over because the school's closing. So they, all that like talk of, we'll make sure you graduate from here is like an issue now because everyone's being transferred.
Like, we'll just transfer you to the other school.
And they're like, we can't.
Like, damn, bro. What about the fucking commute, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Niggas, that's some fucked up shit, man. That is fucked up. They literally extorted fucking students.
Oh
made
my
these
God.
niggas fucking settlement deals so they won't go to court and sue these assholes for 10 grand. Oh my God.
10 grand.
That sounds fucking illegal.
If it were no loans, no tuition to worry about, 100% I would have taken that, regardless of how long I've been in school. But
that's hard.
If it was still loans, that 10 grand's going towards the loans. Like,
so there's no point.
Yeah. But that was insane. I was like, are you serious? Like,
yeah. That is some fucking shady. That's some shady shit right there.
Yeah. And the people that ran that school into the ground are now in charge of this school.
That's so stupid.
And are trying desperately to do things how they did it at Santa Monica. Being like, that's how we did it over there. I'm like, it's closed.
That's why it's fucked. What do you not? How did you not learn your lesson?
Yeah. Imagine that wasn't the first school that they went to that closed
They
down.
just keep going to different schools.
School.
Like, yeah.
This is how we did it.
And it was great.
It was so great that they decided to close us down because they were jealous.
Oh, shit.
The dean of the school is awful. Don't ever go to AI.
Yeah, right.
No AI in general, but especially AI of Hollywood.
A fucking friend went to one. I was like, yo, I wouldn't recommend that shit, bro. He was like, oh, I'm going to the one in the IE. I was like, nigga.
I was gonna go to that one, but they didn't have a film program when I applied.
I don't know what the hell he's going for, but I was like, nigga, fuck that.
One of my friends went for culinary. I think she graduated from it. One of my other friends, when I first started here, when it was actually a pretty decent school, wanted to go. And at that time, I was like, yeah, so far it's great. It was literally within the first year that I was here. Mm-hmm. And luckily, she didn't. like, thank God she didn't put herself through this.
That's good shit.
I'm like, she has a kid now. There's no way she would have been able to deal with this.
Damn. Motherfuckers got kids that go here and shit. I can't do it.
Sarah apparently can't do it. Sarah's got 2 kids.
She just
right?
did it. She did it, which I can't believe she did it.
Didn't.
Like, I'm not. She made it through.
No, she had the excuse of my kids through every class,
and all the teachers were pretty much like, okay.
She did nothing. It pisses me off.
She learned nothing, and it shows in her work. So it's gonna like.
But she
so basically wasted her money.
Cocky about everything.
Not really.
She talks like when she's not around a teacher or anyone else who knows what actually happened. She'll constantly be like, "Yeah, I'm a great cinematographer. I do all this stuff. I know how to do all this shit." whatever the fuck. And then she gets to it, and it's just like, well, my kid's this, and this. Connors, our thesis teacher, said this, so I listened to him, and that screwed me over. I'm like, no.
True that.
No, it's all you. Don't try to put this blame on someone else. Oh my god. I can't wait for people to see her.
She really sells herself in her shit, though. Like, she's like, remember they post, I think it was on Facebook, where she's like, we rap, it was great, everything's great.
Oh my god. She posted on Facebook. So the only reason we were able to see that post was because she tagged another one of our friends that we know.
Who was it?
Paul.
Why was Paul Baker?
You were like, why was Paul? we know multiple people named Paul.
Yeah. I was like, this shit is hilarious. He liked it too.
I bet he was laughing as he hit the like button.
He's like, I'm in the background of one of those shots.
I hope she used that shot.
Which she did. Until we were like, no.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Okay, let's hold off the rest of the Sarah discussion for the end of this. There's 5 thesis films that are going to screen at this theater by the time this is up tomorrow. One is a film that originally was supposed to screen last quarter, but something fucked up with his file, so it wouldn't play at the theater. He's going first.
He didn't test his shit. He put his film in there?
Yeah.
For sure.
He gave me his film so we can test
he showed
it.
Up. How did this... Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
This fucking film was supposed to screen last quarter. Andy told this nigga to come to our class this quarter, and...
Like a few weeks ago, because we were originally supposed to test this weeks ago.
Yeah. And told her to come to the class, and I guess bring his film or some shit. Like, we were gonna screen it and put it on the hard drive for him to test. This nigga shows up to the class with nothing, pretty much. He didn't have a backpack. He
like came in,
he didn't have a
and
binder.
He was like, "Do you have your film?" And he goes,
"No,
not on me." Like, why'd
what
you
do
come?
You mean?
Like, what'd you think you were here for? It's like he was like, "I just thought we were gonna hang out or something." Like, what? Luckily, there was multiple fuck-ups that day, and we didn't actually go test it, so he had time.
Yeah.
But then he never contacted Andy after that. Like, Andy was like, I don't know if he's screening this quarter.
There were multiple... If we screened... Because Andy screened... He tested by himself, which sucked. My film worked, which my shit isn't even screened.
Yeah, Latin's not even screening, but his works. At least we know that. Mine and yours worked, because ours were MP4s. All the MOVs didn't work. So he told us that we all needed to export our films in as high quality as possible as an MP4, get together, put it onto a flash drive, and then someone go to the theater and test it out. We did that. Didn't work out. So now we're going tomorrow, hopefully, to test these and make sure that they all work.
That shit is ridiculous. This whole quarter's been ridiculous.
I will have a panic attack if mine doesn't work. I won't know what to do. Because Eric exported mine. Because he did the color correcting.
He got the message, right?
Yeah.
About the MP4.
Yeah, I told him. But he was exporting out of DaVinci, which is the program that he's using to color correct. And every time he exports it, it always exports as an MOV. Like, regardless of what he does. He's exported like 3 separate times, 3 different ways. And it'll say MP4, but when it like is a final file, it says MOV. So we're like, great. So what we had to do was put the MOV into Premiere, which is our editing program, and re-export it as an MP4 with like the H.264 stuff.
Yeah.
So
sucks.
Now he's super concerned that it'll be like fucked up quality, and I'm like, I'm
put export 2 versions.
Yeah, I put the MP4 that we got, and then I also put the MOV just in case it actually works.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
I'm like, if it decides to play my MOV, for some reason, then I'm good.
It's got to be something like with a codec or something.
Yeah, I don't know why this player won't play these certain things.
That's fucking weird.
But, so tomorrow we're doing that. Thursday is a screening. You're not screening, which you could have, 100% could have.
Nah.
You were supposed to, then you dropped the ADR class, the audio class, and was like, I'll do it next quarter. I'm genuinely excited for your screening. Because it'll be, as far as we know, it'll be you, Jasmine, and Adrian. Mm-hmm. Probably Jackie. Adrian's, I'm a bit excited to see.
I just want to know what the fuck he's doing, because I'm guessing everybody gave him feedback about how shitty his script was.
And he was like, fuck all of you. I'll do what I want.
Right, and he shot it. I just want to know if it's going to be like kids or...
It's so bad.
That show would be dope.
It had like 500 characters. It's a party scene. Someone gets raped, someone gets killed, someone has an overdose at a party. Like, that's the main thing about it. That's all I know about it.
It's a shitty party.
Yeah. And I guess I overheard a conversation. At some point, someone was giving him feedback. He said this statement. He said about one of his characters, he was like, she deserved to get raped because she's a bitch. And I'm like,
what?
Dude. I'm like, dude, you can't just say that.
Shit like that, bro.
Like, what do you...
Who was he talking to?
I have no idea. I overheard this conversation. Alexa was telling someone in our class. She's some student here in one of our classes. And she was telling someone else about it, and I was just listening, and I heard that. I was like, what?
This nigga actually said this to a human being?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, what?
I could hear him saying it in his voice.
I imagine someone being like, there needs to be a greater reason for why she got raped for story purposes. Like,
and he's like, well, she deserves it because she's a bitch. She's a bitch, so she deserved to get raped. That's fucked for your story, dog.
I hope there's a Q&A for theirs.
And somebody's like, why did she get raped? And she's like, because she's a bitch. Next question.
Next question. He like passes it along. Yeah.
That would be fucking fantastic.
Oh my God.
That'd be the greatest shit ever. I can't lie. I'd be like, Adrian's,
you would die. You would have dropped immediately to the floor.
I'd be like, he's a beast, like in the whole fucking theater. Everybody'd be all shocked. I'd be fucking dying. Holy shit. This nigga's a
Jasmine
savage.
and Jackie would be like in pure shock. The audience would be quiet. You'd be dying. Adrian would be like trying to head off the mic.
What's going on?
And he 100% would try to laugh it off too, and like just as he's passing along. Oh my
She's
God.
a fictional character, dude. That shit would be fantastic, though. I can't lie. That'd be like the greatest shit I'd
What
ever
is
witnessed.
that?
It's Parmesan cheese.
Why the fuck do you?
I went and got.
Do you okay.
I forgot I even
sitting
took that shit out.
in a classroom to record this. I look over towards Latin's backpack on the table behind us, and there's Parmesan cheese just sitting next to his backpack. Why the
I'm
fuck?
gonna tell you. I went and got some Little Caesars yesterday, which is what I was talking about. I went and bought pizza. And then I was like, I can't eat this shit without no Parmesan cheese.
So you went.
They don't give out no fucking Parmesan cheese at Little Caesars.
What do you mean? They come in the packets, don't they?
Not at Little Caesars.
I get them all the time.
At Little Caesars?
Yes. They like dump a bunch for you.
Hell no.
They're like, take all of it. We don't want it.
I've never been to a Little Caesars where they give out Parmesan cheese.
Have you
they
ever
probably
asked?
give out like, of course. They probably give out red peppers and shit, but not no fucking Parmesan. So,
imagine like the dude you asked was just like, no, we don't, as he like stuffs it under the table.
It was a female, and it was It was super late. No, it was like 9 or some shit. Whatever.
It was super
the point
late.
is
9 o'clock. God, Lion, what have you been
point
up
is,
to
they
where
didn't have
9
it.
o'clock is now super late?
I was getting pussy. The point is, fucking, they didn't have it. So I went to the 99-cent store and bought it. Then I had a couple slices left. So I was eating them bitches. And I was putting the Parmesan cheese on there. This is the bad part. Like, this 99-cent store Parmesan cheese tastes like cardboard.
That's
Little
gross.
Caesars tastes like cardboard. So it was
Cardboard
like
on
double,
cardboard.
Yeah, it was
You
double
just
cardboard.
Eating a cardboard sandwich.
Yeah, pretty much. I had never had.
You heard of a bread sandwich?
What do you mean?
That's a real thing. You can look it up. I heard this on another podcast. It's literally a slice of bread between two toasted slices
What?
of bread.
This is
a bread
ridiculous.
sandwich. I'm like,
What is the point?
I was like, what? It's a legit thing.
Where? In Europe?
No, probably. I can't remember where they said, but it's literally
That's
a legit
fucking ridiculous.
thing. I cut you off. What were you gonna say before that?
That's ridiculous. A bread sandwich. I'm like, the sandwich includes bread already. What do you mean?
It's literally 3 slices of bread just stacked on top of each other.
That's
And that's
ridiculous.
a bread sandwich.
Who made this shit up? Somebody got high and didn't have no food and was like,
I'm like,
toast some fucking bread.
I'm like,
and
I
then
want to
put
look it
some
up, but my
regular
phone is
bread
charging off to the side.
in the middle. Like, call it a bread sandwich. That's
The
the
fact
dumbest shit I've ever heard.
That it got popular enough that it has like a Wikipedia page about it. Like, it's a thing. I'm like, who thought of this? And how did you convince a bunch of other people that it was a great
That it's
idea?
like a good thing. That's what I want to know. The fucking internet, man. Yeah, I completely forgot where I was.
You were talking about
Oh yeah,
cardboard.
I was yeah, I was gonna say about Little Caesars. Like, not all their pizza is shitty. The one I got last night was shitty as fuck. It tasted better when I microwaved it the next day, which is
Little
weird.
Caesars is one of those places where it does, for whatever reason, taste better when you microwave it the next day.
Not usually for me. Usually when I microwave it, it gets all fucking like shriveled up and crispy. Like, I don't know why, but that one, it like tasted like shit
Whoever
when I
the
got
fuck
it.
made your pizza had a vendetta against you.
Stacey.
Yeah. I feel like we should explain who Stacey is.
Didn't we?
No, not in any
Oh.
podcast recently. Because this
I thought
all
we did.
happened after the last time we recorded. There's this chick at the school. She would go to the lab that we're always in. We cause chaos. If you watch our YouTube channel, you can see. You can see the nonsense that we cause in that lab.
Shout out to Shenanigans.
This is the Shenanigans podcast. You literally just high-five yourself.
Well, you the one separating the YouTube from the podcast and shit, from the SoundCloud and all that.
Calm
Nah,
down.
Fuck all that.
Calm down.
You need to link them up.
They are. I literally have everything linked to each other.
How though?
You're just not
you gotta put,
playing it
you gotta
on
put the
YouTube.
podcast.
No, why
on
would you
YouTube.
want a full podcast that isn't a video podcast on YouTube?
People do that shit.
No, they put video podcasts on there.
What does it matter?
I'm like, you can't listen to it wherever because you have to have the browser open in order to listen to it. So if it's on SoundCloud, you can listen to it whenever you want.
Yeah, but you have both. You could have both.
Shut
Just
up.
Why not?
Shut up. I'm not going to get into an argument with you.
I don't understand.
You.
Just put the options out there.
No.
Some motherfuckers don't fuck with SoundCloud, like me. I don't go to SoundCloud to watch my fucking podcast.
All the
I watch all
highlights
them
are
shits
on YouTube. I'm like, everything you need to
Shit.
hear and see are on YouTube. But
Fuck all that.
there's this chick that started going to that lab, knowing full well that we're always in that lab. That's the lab that we go to, along with a few others that are always in that lab. For whatever reason, she has this vendetta against Latin, personally. Don't know why. There are days where the entire lab will be talking loud. Latin will laugh once, and she'll walk over and be like, "Can you be quiet? I'm trying to work."
Trying to take a fucking quiz in the loudest fucking computer lab in the fucking school.
There's a video that's gonna come out soon where you'll hear her in the video being like, "Can you guys keep it down?" And then it cuts to us moving to another room.
Oh yeah. That shit's finally coming out.
The next day, no, a couple days later maybe, Claudia and I left to go get food, and you said some shit happened while we were gone. You were sitting at a computer.
Man. Oh yeah, I was sitting in that motherfucker watching.
I like the moments where you remember what we're talking about. Continue.
I was sitting in that bitch watching some TBH. Shout out to the Game and Illuminati. And
I think you did that on the last podcast too.
Yeah. And the fucking video was hilarious. And I was sitting over there and I had my headphones on and I was fucking dying. Nobody else didn't say shit. And I just look over and this bitch is already next to me talking. She's already next to me talking. She's already next to me talking shit. And then I'm like, I take my headphones off and I'm like, what? like,
I just imagine the steam coming out of her ears. Just like she's already been there for 10 minutes going off.
She's going off on me. And I'm sitting there, I have my headphones on, I'm laughing my ass off. And I just look over and she's already like in my face. And the first thing I heard was like, why the fuck do you gotta laugh so loud or some shit? And I'm like, I couldn't believe what the fuck.
People could see the look that you just gave to like, empty air.
Yeah, right. You could feel it though. You could feel it.
You can. Just...
I was like, was I that loud? She was like, hell yeah, you're super loud or some shit. And I was like, well, it's an open lab, yo. Like, and
yeah, this is probably the only lab, or maybe one of like 2 labs where you're allowed to be loud because it's not directly next to any other classroom. It's on its own in the corner of the 3rd floor.
Next to the fucking other loud lounge. And she basically, like, after I said that, she went and sat down, but she was still talking shit. And then I said some other shit to her, and we basically was like, whatever after that. Fucking.
We came back. You told us
like,
this.
Y'all fucking missed it. This bitch went off.
Oh, I wish you were recording in some way.
It was like that scene from The Sandlot when fucking Wendy Peppercorn is lotioning herself up. It's funny because I got the shirt on.
You're wearing the Sandlot shirt.
And she's lotioned up. That nigga Squints was like, I can't take this. Like all in her mind. She just went off. That shit was hilarious.
Oh my god. Okay, and then we came back. You told us what happened.
What happened, pretty much.
And then...
and we were just talking and laughing about some other shit.
And then the security guard came up. This is a security guard we're cool with. He's pretty much our friend. You could tell how awkward this was for him to do this. He like walked in. He was like, "You guys need to be quiet. I guess you're getting too loud."
Yeah.
I think you even said like, "There's a library down the hall."
Yeah.
There's literally a library feet from. Yeah, he did.
He was like, "Yeah, I gotta keep it down, man."
He was in his mind. He was like, "Shit, you're right."
Yeah, because he came back and told us. That shit was hilarious.
He like walked out. I think he even like, as he was leaving, was like, the fuck?
Right.
And she made it very clear that she's the reason he came up, because as he was leaving, she was like, thank you.
And then we started laughing again.
Started laughing. And then
she was really serious about that.
She was so serious.
It was great.
Open laugh. Later on, he came back and was like, jokingly, he walked in, he was like, hey. And he like had to check to make sure she wasn't there, and he was like, keep it down. He's
like,
he literally walked in, he was like, hey, and he like checked, keep it down. And then started laughing with us. He was like, what was that? What happened? But
that shit was hilarious.
After that, we had gotten pretty decently quiet for us. Like, usually we don't care. We film VR stuff in that room, right, where you guys are literally screaming because you're being blown up by a bomb. And so we got pretty quiet after that. And then at some point, what happened? She was like looking at you.
Okay, no, we were chilling like you said, and all the other people was talking and shit. I think you and Claudia were talking but real low like.
We were talking and doing whatever, but by this point, both Claudia and I were working on whatever we were working on, and you, I think, were on your phone sitting behind us.
Yeah.
So it had been no noise from us for a good 5 minutes.
Some shit like that.
And then suddenly shit happened.
All these other people were talking. So I'm looking I can see her through the computers, through the space in between the computers, and she's just looking mad as fuck at the other people talking. That shit was hilarious. She was scanning the room and shit, but she wasn't saying nothing, which was pissing me off.
And then she saw you.
Yeah.
She saw you.
And then she just stared at me like I was the one talking, and then I was like. I just
Len shrugged
was
now.
Was I being too loud? And she was like, yes. And I was like
snapped.
I wasn't even doing anything, no. And she was like, well,
she went off.
Ask a question you don't want an answer to. And I'm like,
what?
What does that even mean? Because I wasn't doing.
Don't ask a question you don't want an answer to. What?
You mean don't give me the answer that doesn't make sense? I wasn't doing anything. But I'm being too loud, apparently. That shit was ridiculous.
Claudia, I'm so angry I didn't start recording sooner, because it always seemed like the conversation was over. Then she would say something.
And then Claudia would say something.
Claudia, I can't remember what she said first, but at some point she was like, can you keep it down? I'm trying to work. She said it back to her. And I nearly died. I was hiding behind the computer.
I think that was the first thing she said.
Was it?
Because
she was
we were
making
talking,
faces. She was like,
and then,
what the fuck is happening?
I was laughing, and she was talking shit. And then Claudia was like, excuse me, you're being too loud.
Obviously something just to piss her off.
Yeah.
And
she's like, really, bitch?
Snapped at Claudia. She went off. She was just she said the words, you need to stay in your lane, bitch.
Claudia was like, okay, let us know when you're off your rag, okay? Yeah. I was like, damn. It got catty in that motherfucker.
Oh, I can't remember what else she said. I have some of it recorded. I have the last 2 lines of it recorded.
Because she was talking shit at first, and then she was like, I wasn't even referring to you.
Yeah, she was like, I wasn't talking to you. Stay in your lane. And Claudia's just like, you're talking to me now, so.
Yeah, right. They had a full conversation before she said that.
Claudia was so angry. She was seconds away from climbing over these computers.
Fight this. She was talking so much shit.
Claudia was even and the whole lab was talking.
Yeah, right.
Claudia, as soon as that chick sat down and went back to her test or whatever, Claudia was like, well, I'm going to continue talking like I was.
Like everybody else in the lab is doing.
Yeah. I think she even said that too. She's like everyone else. And I don't know if it was just timed perfectly, but as soon as she said that, everyone went back to their conversations because obviously everyone stopped to see what was happening. Like the whole lab just started getting loud again.
Oh, that shit was great.
I'm so
I was
convinced
laughing
that it's
so
just
fucking hard
at you. Like she's just.
I am too, man. I just know she wants to fuck. I'm just putting it like that.
This is a strange way to get to that.
I would give her the D any day of the week.
You're insane. She'd probably be like, you need to
fuck
quiet down.
We're fucking and she's like, shh. Bitch, we not in the fucking computer lab.
Oh my god. And what made that worse was she continued to stay in the lab.
Yeah, like after for a couple of days after that.
After all that, she stayed in the lab for a few more hours doing whatever. And then she finally left and we were all like, what the fuck? Like we purposely went up like 10 octaves.
We were talking to other people about that shit. Them niggas are like, what the fuck is wrong with her?
I told Stephanie and her reactions were the best.
That shit was fantastic.
You were like, I think I recorded your reaction to seeing Stephanie's comment. Because I pretty much play-by-play everything that had happened. And Stephanie was like, I would have gone off on her. I would have been like, this is an open lab or something. She said something. And you were like, I wish Stephanie was here. I would ride or die with Stephanie. I'd be like, yes, get her. It was so funny, your reaction to it.
Yeah.
And then I told her how everyone else was talking or whatever. And Steph was like, talk louder. Like, make sure she can hear you word for word. God, I wish Steph was there. I wish Steph was there. I wish that one dude that's always loud in the lab was there.
Yeah, Rod.
Yeah.
That nigga that's playing the football games right now.
Rod was in the lab yesterday. Having a phone call with someone. And whatever the fuck the dude on the other line said pissed him off to no end. He started yelling at this dude on the phone in the middle of the lab. Just like going off on him. I recorded part of it. I was like, I need to. It was so jarring.
Oh my god.
Like Monty and I were talking, and all of a sudden we just hear, "Fuck you, fuck this." It was like, what just happened? It was so quiet 2 seconds ago.
This nigga Rod is a crazy ass nigga that comes in a fucking computer lab, be loud as fuck, be talking shit.
Oh my god, bro, no you haven't, bro. No you haven't, bro. No, bro. No, bro. It ain't gonna be no nothing, bro. No, it ain't gonna be no nothing, bro. It ain't gonna be no fight. It ain't gonna be no nothing, bro.
No, we're on opposite ends of this computer lab. It sounds like he's next to me.
It ain't gonna be no nothing, bro. It ain't gonna be no nothing. You just need to be cool, bro. You understand me? You need to be cool for your son, for your life. You need to be cool, bro. You need to be cool, bro. You need to be cool, bro. Alright?
You need to be cool, bro. That's gonna be the title of this podcast.
You need to leave me alone, bro. You need to leave me alone, bro. I've been told you on Sunday, bro. Get the fuck off my line, bro. I already told you. No, you're not, nigga. Bro, you don't even know. This shit recorded everything, bro. So what's going on? Stupid motherfucker.
That was the end of it. Yeah, he hung up and was like...
I wonder if the other guy hung up when he said it was being recorded.
Right? Just like, shit.
Oh, fuck.
But I mean, by that point, the other dude probably hadn't said anything leading up to it. Just hearing, are you cool, bro?
You need to be cool, bro. He said bro so many times in that shit, dog. Oh,
I should post that and just have a counter for how many times he says bro.
Yeah.
But that was hilarious. It was so out of nowhere, too. Like, we're just talking.
That nigga's always out of nowhere. That nigga just screams in the lab, like, for no reason. Like,
and then I guess after that conversation, whoever he was talking to was someone's brother, because he called up his brother and he was like, I know this has nothing to do with you, but you need to check your brother. Like, like he's pissing me off. I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
what the fuck happened?
This nigga always beefing with somebody over some dumb shit.
I'm gonna keep this.
I already know.
We're messing with an iLock, which is a piece of small equipment that helps us use a certain program at our school.
Allows us to use it.
Yeah.
Which is some bullshit.
We're unable to use this program unless we have this. It literally looks like a flash drive.
Yeah.
But you miss some shit.
Stacey wasn't in the room when that shit happened.
No, of course not.
Man, god damn. Why this bitch never in there when other motherfuckers be in there talking shit? Only when I'm in there
I'm
talking shit.
fully convinced she like walks in, checks to see if you're there, and then if you're not, she leaves.
Yeah, right.
If you are, she'll stay so that she has an excuse to yell at you later.
That's some bullshit, man.
There was a day not long after that huge incident, like her calling security, her yelling at you and Claudia. But like a few days later, you were sitting next to me in the lab being really quiet. I don't know what you were watching, but it wasn't making you laugh. You were just watching it. Mm-hmm. But the whole lab was loud, and she was there at the same computer she's always at. And she turned around, and I heard through my headphones her saying, "Can you keep it down?" And I turned around, and obviously no one else in the lab heard her. Like, and then she didn't say anything else. She like got up, looked at who was talking. I'm solely convinced she noticed that you weren't talking and then went back to her work.
Oh my goodness.
Because everyone else was being really loud, like as loud as we normally are.
Yeah.
And she looked over, see who was talking, saw you sitting there, not doing anything, and then just like quietly went back to her work. She didn't even say, she didn't repeat herself.
She didn't say anything after that?
She said it once, kind of quietly. No one heard her.
Goodness.
Like, it wasn't like they ignored her. They just didn't hear her.
Yeah.
Like, I barely heard her. Like, that's why I turned around. I was like, was that the same chick? I'm like, who's she talking to this time? Because Latin's not making any sounds. Then I noticed her just, like, look over and then go back to work. She didn't say or do anything else. And I'm like, this is all Latin. Like, it's all directed at you somehow.
Yeah. I'm gonna just have to go in one day and be like, what's up, Stacey?
Yeah, we call her Stacey. We don't know her actual name.
What the fuck her real name is.
Claudia started this, whatever, Stacey,
Lacey,
whatever.
Gracie.
She said this one day.
Fuck Stacey.
Made up this story,
She
and
said it
so
on her-
now.
Didn't she say it on one of the podcasts?
No, it
She probably
was.
deleted.
No, it was. It was the day we recorded the very first podcast. You had. The reason why we had this mic was because we needed to record the like stuff for your thesis film. Yeah. And she was like, I can do it. And so she started reading. She read maybe a line of what she was supposed to read. She read 2 words of what she was supposed to read. And then just started going off and just being like, is this Stacey? It's not Stacey? Okay, I don't want to talk to you. I'm looking for Lacey. And she just like started going off and saying every other AC's name. And so since then, it's been this ongoing joke. Just anytime anything happens or we don't know someone's name, she's like, it's Stacey. So we decided to call this chick Stacey.
I gotta show you this video. And it's pretty much self-explanatory from what we just said. We gotta wait for
What was that?
Okay.
Fuck Stacey coming over. I hate that bitch. I hate her. I hate that fucking bitch. I fucking hate that fucking bitch. I fucking hate her.
Oh.
Hi, Stacey. I didn't know you guys were here. We just got here.
The title of this is how bitches really are with each other. It's all animated. Oh my god.
It's like the greatest shit ever.
That
It's fucking Stacey.
was Claudia when she was down on the second floor lab, because there's one lab on the second floor that has a piano, and she was doing the score for my film. Stacey walked in, and obviously she never saw Claudia that day that, like, you guys were all just going at it. She never saw what Claudia looked like. So she walked in, and both Claudia and I immediately recognized who it was, and we're like, I was about to leave. I was like, I need to go print something out. I'll be right back. Please don't let me come back to, like, blood on the walls. But I guess she didn't recognize Claudia, and she, like, politely was like, hi, I'm whatever. Claudia wasn't listening, so we still don't know her name. And Claudia's like, be nice. Claudia can keep calm when she needs to be.
Yeah.
So we're like, I came back like minutes later. I was like, you okay? That would have been hilarious if I, like, walked back in and they were just yelling at each other.
That would have been great. How did she just fucking keep calm with that? She walked up and introduced herself? For what?
I don't know.
Like, for what?
Claudia never explained that. She was just like, hi, I'm so-and-so. Claudia didn't listen to her name, which was the one thing that she said in that sentence.
Right.
Like, she introduced herself, then left, apparently. So,
what the fuck?
Maybe she did remember
ploy.
who Claudia was.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not after you, I'm after
She's
Latin.
She's trying to get to me through my friend. But Claudia ignored her.
Desperately need that to happen again. She needs to be there when, like, one of the loudest people are there. Like, we're not
Fucking
bad
Rod.
compared to these other people.
I wish she was there that one day them niggas came in there. They were
Oh
fucking
my
lit.
God.
These niggas
They
were
were
straight
so
fucking
loud.
wasted.
It
Oh my God.
was 3 of them. It sounded like there was 20. They somehow threw one of their phones.
It almost hit this other bad bitch. Which,
That
of
was
course,
hilarious.
We haven't fucking seen her since.
Of course.
Which
I don't
sucks.
think I ever saw her before that.
I never saw her before that either.
So
That
was
I
the
knew
one
it.
time.
I fucking called it. I was like, we're never gonna see her again.
I was like, that was the one time we saw her.
Yep.
I'm like,
And we let that opportunity pass. We fucked up. We all fucked up.
Calm down.
Well, Claudia fucked up.
we need to explain this. The first time ever, both Latin and I were actually, like, looking at
Actually
this chick.
checking out
Yeah.
the same chick.
Usually Latin's extremely obvious with this stuff, and I'll just be like, calm down. Like, just shut it down immediately. I didn't notice you doing this time because I was
She
looking
doing it
myself.
too, which is great.
Like, there was a point, she was sitting behind us, facing away from us, so we're like back to back. And you look at me and mouth the words. Like, what would you say?
I said she's bad as fuck.
At like halfway through that sentence.
I said she's.
Yeah. I knew
You were
exactly
like-
what you were going to say. I already knew. And I was like, I know. Like, we just mouth these words to each other and immediately start dying. Then Claudia showed up and we explained it to her, but we said it in a way that wasn't obvious. You were like...
I said, what were we? I said, Claudia, did I tell you that we just had a nigga moment? Like,
you're like, this bad
me
bitch
and
walked
Deanna
in.
Michelle had a nigga moment, okay? This bad bitch. No, I was just like, me and her checked out this female, and I pointed to her
But
her
she's
back
not
was
looking at
turned.
us, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like,
And you said something more.
yeah.
But then Claudia, the most obvious person on the planet, tried desperately to be in this conversation.
Incognito. And not let her know that we were talking about her.
While being
and in doing so,
extremely obvious.
yeah, fucking let her know.
She basically was
great.
like, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
Like, she tried, I don't even know what she said, but she like
said,
tried to like point at her with her eyes and like...
Yeah, she like nodded her head and she said, I acknowledge. And I said, because I had said we both like acknowledge that this bitch was bad as fuck or some shit. Like something about acknowledging it. And then she was like, I acknowledge.
she whispered this, which immediately, and then she did something like she like tried like pointing without anyone noticing. This chick looks at her
as soon as she said it. Like,
yeah, this chick looks at her.
You know I can hear you, right?
She said those exact words. I was dying. I was dead.
God, Claudia.
Also,
God
right
damn.
before all that, those 3 guys that were there, one of them slipped her his number.
Yeah.
She didn't even notice till how.
It was that nigga Rod. I swear to God.
It had his number, and it said, "What's your major?"
It had all his social medias, his number, and it.
She threw it away immediately.
She was like, "When the fuck did this get here?"
She's like, "What is this?"
This nigga, I knew he was gonna do something because that nigga he told me, he was like, "Don't let the little homie fuck your shit up." And I was like, all right, nigga, you gonna get the number or what? And this nigga just like walked up and was like just.
I feel like he had a full conversation with her and she didn't even know. Like she was listening to music, doing her work, and he was probably sitting there just being like, "So what's up?" and all this other stuff.
They talked for a little bit because we were talking about they were talking about they were lit and partying or some shit, and then she was like, "I got the Molly, like the hookup."
And they were like, "Oh, shit.
Oh, what's the number, though?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't give my number out."
Yo.
And shit. Like,
Smart.
Yeah. I don't know why she put it out there. Because she was like, I think she was talking to me, to be honest. Because she was like, I got the Molly on deck. And then the other homies was like, well, let's get the number, though. And she was like, oh, I don't give my number out. So I was like, what's the point of her saying it in the first place? And she was like, before she said that, or before the niggas asked, she was like, I will have that shit next week, like, at this same time.
They're like, we need it
like,
tomorrow, though.
Right? It was like, we need that shit right now. She was like, I don't have none right now, but next week. And then that nigga was like, let me get your number, though. She was like, I don't give my number out. And then I was like,
I bet she gives her number out, just not them.
Yeah, not them niggas. Which makes me think
they
it was
almost
me.
hit her with
the
with
damn
the phone.
phone.
Like, I don't know what they were
She was
doing,
really
but it like
freaked out.
flew at her.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. This bitch ass nigga.
Bitches.
What the fuck?
Claudia just showed up.
I was like, first of all, I walk in here and I'm like downstairs and I'm like, what the fuck is all this shit? And I talk to the DJ and I'm like, hey,
The portfolio
yeah.
show?
I was like, what's going on with this? You making music for? He's like, for this event. I'm like, what is it? He's like, the Portio show. I'm like,
The Portio?
yeah. I was like, ain't no damn. I was like, ain't no damn Portio show right now. And he was like, yeah.
I like how she just
and I was
runs
like,
with it now.
but it's Tuesday. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, it's usually Thursday. He was like, I'm like, well, I'm happy I fucking randomly decided to come. I was really thinking about going home today, motherfucker. I'm all right. I'm gonna see what's up. So it took me a minute to get here. I've been here since 5.
What time is it? You need to wrap up this story, and then we need to wrap this up so that we can.
That was pretty much the end.
No, you were
No, what
saying
happened?
how,
Oh, yeah, how
the
they-
phone
the
got
phone,
thrown.
okay.
Wait. Are you
So-
in the middle of a podcast right
We're
now?
about to
Yeah.
end it. We're finishing up this
We're already
story.
an
But I
hour.
want to be part of the podcast.
We're gonna make
Sorry.
another one right after this. Calm down.
I missed it.
Calm down.
I want to hear the story.
I
I
didn't
want to
say.
hear the story.
If you're talking
About to
about
tell
this,
the fucking story
if you're
right
talking
now.
about the story of my insane roommate, you didn't miss that.
Oh, okay.
That'll be in the next podcast.
I was wondering what else you had to talk about.
Why did the phone get thrown at her? We started this.
Yeah, I completely forgot that I was about to say that shit. The other nigga, I forget his name, the Asian nigga. I don't think he's Asian.
Whatever the fuck.
So this nigga was just being loud over like near where she was because he was standing next to me and he was talking shit or whatever. And then this nigga Rod, this nigga he was telling him to shut up, and this nigga was like, "The fuck, this nigga telling me to shut it up for her?" Like he tried to get at this bitch or some shit. And then this nigga tossed his phone at him, but he missed. Like it wasn't even close. That shit slid like on the table and then hit I think, her keyboard.
It was like inches from hitting her.
Yeah.
And she was
mad as fuck.
If this were
about
Stacey, she would have gone off. She was
Motherfucking Stacey.
She was pretty okay with it. She was just like, just don't throw things at me. Like, I don't care that you're...
We sorry we being loud and shit. She was like, oh, that's cool. Just don't fucking hit me with the phone and shit. Like, which I was like, did this nigga just toss his fucking... Why the fuck did he toss his fucking phone? Like,
What?
He was way too hype. He was like, I'm motherfucking hype.
Yeah, that nigga reminded me of somebody I know. This nigga would do some stupid shit like throw his phone at somebody and almost hit somebody else. Like,
Then when it's cracked, it'd be like, look what you did to my phone. Why didn't you catch it when I threw it at you?
Your back is turned and everything. He's like, well, I didn't see you. You should have been aware. Use all your senses.
Use all your senses. Oh,
right.
God. Okay.
I think we can wrap this up.
Final statements, Latin.
Final statement.
Okay, you're good.
Time is up, bitch. That's your final statement. You ran the fuck out of time.
Calm down, God. You're not even in this motherfucking book.
I am physically here right now. Say your final statement.
Final statement, don't come to AI. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Claudia, I hope this hears you.
It can. What do you...
Don't get too close, please.
No, I'm not. Final statement. Stop it.
No, I already had to deal with that
no,
one.
I'm not
Claudia.
Just
you're not.
Final
Claudia! Get off!
I will be in the next
Claudia,
podcast.
Claudia.
I will be in the
Claudia.
next one.
Claudia.
You will hear my voice
Claudia.
again.
Stop!
Why you gotta make that face?
I was making a sexy face. They don't know what my face looks like.
Yes, they do.
My face was sexy.
If you want to know what Claudia's face looks like, go check out our YouTube channel. Shenanigans. Stop it. Stop it. Claudia. What the fuck are you doing? Go check out our YouTube channel. It's called Shenanigans. You can find it by going to YouTube. Type it in Shenanigans. This is Claudia. Our video will be the first one that shows.
Ira.
Watch that. Then subscribe. Then watch all of our other videos. Stop!
Check out our other channels where you do other shit.
We'll talk with you guys or at you guys next week. Bye.